Alright guys, so 2 days ago I made a video telling you guys not to buy any iPad right now because we should be expecting new iPads in as little as 1 week from today. And apparently, you guys really liked that video. So guess what just happened this morning? The final leak and rumor that put the last nail in the coffin and confirmed a bunch of other recent leaks about Apple's custom Silicon Macs being officially announced in as little as 6 weeks from today. So what I'm gonna do in this video is show you guys all of those leaks and actually wrap them all up and explain why they totally make sense and why we should expect these MacBooks to be announced at Apple's October event. And I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna show you guys some of the leaks of the features we should expect on those Apple Silicon MacBooks. But first, I want to mention that you can find our Apple Silicon ARM t-shirt and our Apple product mask down in the merch shelf below. It all started at Apple's WWDC 2020 event when Tim Cook himself said that Apple Silicon Macs will begin shipping later this year. So that's confirmation from the Apple himself. Now on the topic of MacBooks, let me show you guys a few of the older leaks and rumors we were seeing a couple of months back. There were some rumors of the first Apple Silicon MacBook being a revived 12-inch Retina MacBook, which has been discontinued for a while now. And if we consider why it was discontinued, it totally makes sense. Basically, Apple wanted a fanless design, but Intel's chips were running way too hot to make it a great MacBook. So packing an Apple Silicon chip would allow it to be much more powerful and run cooler, while still being fanless and getting better battery life. However, the very reliable analyst Ming-Chi Kuo mentioned that the 13.3-inch MacBook Pro could be the very first MacBook to get Apple Silicon later this year. Now I know a lot of you guys are waiting for the 14-inch MacBook Pro redesign, but a lot of the rumors are still pointing to that model coming next year. So don't expect a 14-inch display next month. I personally believe that the lower end $1,300 MacBook Pro 13-inch is gonna get replaced by the new Apple Silicon MacBook Pro, while the higher end $1,800 model will stay unchanged until the 14-inch model replaces it next year. Now, Kuo also expects a lower end 24-inch iMac to get released either at the end of this year or early next year, but that topic is for a whole nother video. And then Digitimes also mentioned that they expect both a refreshed MacBook Air and a MacBook Pro to get released later this year, both with Apple Silicon chips. So basically, these leaks and rumors are showing us that if you're in the market for any lower-end MacBook Pro, from the MacBook Air to the 13-inch MacBook Pro, you absolutely should not be buying one right now, and you should definitely be waiting for Apple's upcoming October event. Now you're probably asking, when is that event happening and what should we be expecting from it? And this is the part of the video where I get into the brand new nail in the coffin leaks and rumors. So let's get right into it. Komiya, a prominent leaker on Twitter, mentioned that we should be seeing a few things at Apple's event, including a new MacBook and a 13-inch MacBook Pro. Now, as you guys can see, there's no mention of a MacBook Air, so let me give you guys my personal take on this. I believe that going forward, Apple is gonna consolidate the 12-inch Retina MacBook and the MacBook Air into one laptop, and it's just gonna be called the Apple MacBook. Why? Well, because the current 13-inch MacBook Air is already incredibly similar to the MacBook Pro. The main difference is the wedge-shaped design, the Intel CPU, and the cooling system. And if you really think about it, the Apple Silicon chip is gonna negate two of those differences, the Intel CPU and the cooling system. So it just makes sense for Apple to make one simple MacBook based on a super thin design with excellent battery life. And I'll show you guys the specific leaks that led me to that speculation in just a minute, but first, let's get back to the date of the Apple October event. The very accurate leaker, John Prosser, posted an Apple release date timeline, and he expects Apple's iPhone 12 event to happen on the week starting October 12th. Now let me first explain how Apple used to have their fall events. They usually hold an iPhone event within the first 2 weeks of September, and then they hold an October event at the end of October for iPad and Mac related things. Now, because of the whole pandemic situation, Tim Cook announced during Apple's Q2 earnings results that their iPhones would be shipping a few weeks later than usual, so that gives us confirmation that everything should be set back. So if you look at Jon Prosser's timeline, it totally makes sense for the event to be moved into October, and then it also makes sense to just consolidate both events into one, since it's going to be online only, and that makes it a bit more complicated than usual for Apple. And as for the exact date, Monday the 12th of October at 10 a.m. Pacific makes the most sense. However, Japanese site Mac Otakara recently mentioned that the October event could happen in the second half of October instead, so we'll just have to wait and see. Getting back to the brand new leaks, Komiya tweeted out that the 13-inch MacBook Pro will be shipping in October, so I'm expecting pre-orders to begin on the 16th, with shipments beginning on the 23rd. And then he mentioned that the new MacBook will begin to ship in November, so this matches up to all of the leaks and rumors pointing to the MacBook Pro shipping first. Now, as far as the features, this is where it gets very interesting. Komiya tweeted that the MacBook will have a 12-inch Retina display with an Apple Silicon chip getting 15 to 20 hours of battery life. That right there is the #1 reason why this MacBook will be so popular. And to make it even better, he believes the starting price will be $849 and only $799 for students. And seeing as most students will be doing their work from home this year, Apple's MacBook is going to be insanely popular at this new low price. He also mentioned that the FaceTime camera will be upgraded to 720p from the previous 480p, and it'll only be weighing around 2 pounds, which is super lightweight. Now, you might not think he's very credible, but earlier this morning, the China Times posted an article basically confirming everything Komiya was saying. A very lightweight 2-pound MacBook with 15 to 20 hours of battery life launching later this year. And they believe it'll come with the A14X chip, which is expected to come in the upcoming iPad Pro. But I personally believe this won't be called the A14X. It'll be almost identical, but Apple will name it something else, because Apple did mention that their Apple Silicon Macs will have a brand new family of SoCs. Now, Komiya also tweeted out the expected features of the MacBook Pro, and this is perhaps the most surprising information. It'll have a 13-inch display, which matches up to the other rumors, but he says that it'll have the option for either an Apple Silicon chip or an Intel CPU, which actually isn't the first time that I'm hearing that rumor. But maybe there's a chance that the Intel CPU option will simply be on the higher end $1,800 MacBook Pro, which is what I'm personally expecting. He then mentioned that it'll come with bezels as thin as the current 16-inch model, which is the very first time that I'm hearing that, since some others have speculated that the design will remain unchanged. But Komiya thinks that the body will be a little bit smaller this year. He then mentioned that it'll get a 1080p FaceTime camera, and it'll be priced at $1,099, which is $200 less expensive than the current MacBook Pro that this model will be replacing, and it's gonna ship in October. So based on all of that, this will be an absolutely killer MacBook Pro. And due to the price drop, many students are going to be buying this one as well. Now, as a final cherry on top, he posted that in 2021, when we're expecting the 14-inch MacBook Pro, he expects it to have an escape key, a new touch bar, whatever that means, and a simple power button. So basically, he's hinting at the 14-inch MacBook Pro coming with Face ID built in, which has been rumored for a while now, and it's extremely exciting. And I also expect the 16-inch MacBook Pro to get Apple Silicon next year with Face ID and a new mini LED display. Now, there are also some fresh iMac rumors as well, and I'm actually working on a video right now where I speculate on the design of the upcoming 24-inch iMac, as well as the larger iMac, which is coming next year with a rumored custom Apple GPU. So if you want to see that, go ahead and click the circle above to subscribe so you don't miss out. And by the way, check out our new Apple product mask and our Apple Silicon Arm shirt down in the merch shelf below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.